Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about making sure you know what your non-player characters are, right? And making a distinct decision, and making it's so that even though a character is complex, you still understand their fundamental underlying structure. So my favorite movie in the world is 1996 Twister. It's just a fantastic movie. It's so good. Honestly, it's when it comes to disaster movies, it's my favorite, bar none. Now that movie had Philip Seymour Hoffman in it, and I've always since 1996 it's been one of my favorite movies. I watch it at least twice a year, so I've seen this movie probably boy, man, I've probably seen this movie close to 50 times, right? Maybe 30 or 40, somewhere between 30 and 50. And back when I had seen it maybe 10, 15, 20 times, it was a good movie and I really enjoyed it. But now it's bittersweet because not only do I really enjoy it, but also Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it. He's an actor that died. And he didn't die in a good way. He died because he was not able to control. From what I remember, there were reports that said he died because of substance abuse, right? And basically it came out after he had died that he had had a major substance abuse problem for many, many years. One of the reasons this came out is there in the old days when you would die under 50 years old, everybody goes, this is an actor in Hollywood. They have access to the best healthcare in the world. Why are they dying? Right? And if you didn't have a good answer, everybody knew the answer, right? Because Hollywood has a major problem with substance abuse. It always has, right? So basically, when I look at Philip Seymour Hoffman, he's one of my favorite actors. And when I learned this, and I had seen him so many times in this movie, I'm like, this guy is a hero, right? Like, he just crushed his work, and he was just a joy to everyone around him, I'm sure, as a person, right? Based on the quality of his work, right? But when he died, I learned these unfortunate truths about him, right? And I had to go, wait, was Philip Seymour Hoffman, was he a villain with some redemptive habits of being able to work professionally, and the reality is, like, probably being around him was pretty hellacious because he was constantly lying to people, or things like that? Or was he a hero, right, with some damning qualities, right? And I think Philip Seymour Hoffman was a hero with some damning qualities, right? I have unfortunately been friends with and known probably a handful. Like, I could count them on one hand. It's not zero fingers, but it's not more than five fingers. Substance abusers, and it can be incredibly difficult to deal with them, right? Because one of the biggest things that come up is lying. There's just a ton of lying that happens from substance abusers because they don't want people to know they're substance abusers. So it can be hellish, right? It can really be incredibly difficult to deal with people in this way. So basically, that's the point of this video, right? When you bring in a complex character for Dungeons and Dragons, one of the things, again, our D&D worlds can be perfect. We do not have the limitations of Hollywood, right? Hollywood has a list of values. They all have to adhere to them, or they don't get their next job, right? But at your dungeon master table, you could tell the story you want to tell, right? Like, you can hold up, morals. You can say good is good and evil is evil, right? You can craft the world you want, right? And so, unlike Hollywood, which increasingly is not able to tell the difference between a villain and a hero, we can tell that difference, right? And so we can put forward a very complex non-player character, right? And we could say they do these horrible things and they do these good things, right? But you have to know at the end of the day, is this a villain with redemptive habits when you're dealing with a complex character? Or is this a hero with some damning qualities, right? And the reason why you have to put that in place, right, is player characters, man, in D&D, combat's everywhere, right? And non-player characters can often be on the list of, I'm going to slay that person, right? Like, for your player characters, they will not think twice about slaying people, right? And increasingly with, especially if you got all neutral player characters, that can be a big question, right? So you need to know deep down if the non-player character you're putting in front of them is a villain with redemptive habits or a hero with with a few damning qualities, right? I think that's what Philip Seymour Hoffman was. To me, he was a hero with one damning quality, right? And I'm a huge fan of his work. I have a lot of respect for him as a person. I wish he had been able to defeat that problem. It is quite sad, right? But you need to know as you go forward with your non-player characters. That's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.